Good morning. I hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. We're halfway through the week, first week of October. My name is Lindsay Toscas. I am a Green Compass advocate outside of Boston. And I'm just going to give it a sec here and see if some friends join us. I'm so honored and excited to be here today, and especially for Wellness Wednesday, because this is something that's pretty near and dear to my heart. What I'm going to talk to you about today is stress management. So just a little bit about me. I am a 13-year educator in the public school system outside of Boston. I am a dog mom. My husband Chris and I live with her, and I have done a lot of things over the years that I feel like have prepared me to be in this role as an educator and talk about stress and mindfulness. So I've gotten a certification in yoga, not currently practicing as a teacher, but I try to incorporate that in my classes, and also a certified mindfulness educator. So yeah, I'm so happy to be here with you today, sharing all the good things about how we can manage stress in our daily lives, because I think stress is sort of a common denominator for all of us, whether we're experiencing stress from work, family, just all the things that we're trying to juggle in our lives. It all compounds sometimes, and it really gets to be too much. I know for me personally, over the years with teaching and just all the things in life, I've experienced a lot of stress, and I've also experienced the physical manifestation of that in my body. It's shown up as stomach pain, it's showed up as hair loss, and just like a variety of other things. So I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about why that happens. So when we have a stress response in our body, our nervous system kicks into gear, and it notices that something's wrong and that we need to respond. So that's where the fight or flight or freeze comes in. Your body is trying to protect you from the thing that's causing the stress. And that happens, your body floods with a hormone called cortisol, your heart rate goes up, your breathing starts to change, like you can feel the stress in your whole body, and it's the physical manifestation of the feeling. And it doesn't feel good. And when we live in that space of chronic stress and not being able to re-regulate from that, there can be long-term effects on the body, and it's tough. Life is busy, and we have to deal with all the things. And if we can't get to all the things, then we have to, we feel guilt and like all of that. And it sort of becomes cyclical for us. And so there are a few ways that we can sort of deal with stress in our bodies and manage that a little bit better. Because when we feel the body's response to stress, we can regulate it. We don't have to wait for the moment to pass. We can start to acknowledge, like, I'm feeling this way, I can do something about it. So that's kind of the first step in managing stress, is being mindful. And I know a lot of people think of mindfulness as feeling like I have to sit there and be calm and like nothing can go on, and I have to sit there for 5, 10, 15 minutes and meditate. That's not realistic for most of us. And being mindful to me over the years, especially as an educator in the classroom, has really just taken on the definition of awareness of how you feel in a moment. So if you can do that and start to tap into that, like you're clenching your jaw, you feel tension, you're snapping at whoever is around you, you want to like slam the cabinets and honk the horn and like all of those things. Take that minute to be like, oh my gosh, like something is really stressing me out and I need to change it because it doesn't feel good, right? And then people around us pick up on it, like pets, everything. So that's step number one. Start to tune into how you're feeling and bring that mindfulness awareness. A great way to talk about that with kids is through the zones of emotional regulation. If you've never heard of it, you can think of the movie Inside Out, but it's basically like being able to match how you're feeling with a color and in the moment. And then what do you do if you're feeling sort of unregulated? Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But so step number one is awareness. And the one thing that you can do to actually bring down the cortisol levels in your body and reduce the stress is to tap into mindful breathing. And there's lots of different breathing practices that are out there, but the one that has worked most for me is a conscious inhale and a conscious exhale. And I love breathing as the tool, like the go-to thing for managing stress, because it's accessible to all of us. You know, if someone's ever told you like you're stressed and you're upset and they're like, you should really calm down. And you're like, don't tell me to calm down. I'm like so guilty of that myself. Or like, they're like, go for a walk, and like a walk's not accessible to you. Like breathing is the one thing that's always with us. We don't have to pay attention to it, right? We're just doing it without thinking all day, all night. But when we can tap into it, that is the tool that really helps to regulate the body. And it's scientifically proven. That's like a whole thing we could go into. But the breathing is the key. It's the solution to managing the stress and bringing your body back into balance. So you don't have to stop what you're doing. You can continue driving. You don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to do anything that's sort of out of the ordinary. It's a moment of pause. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling so stressed. And a conscious exhale. Sometimes all you need is one breath. Like sometimes you might not even realize that you've been holding your breath for an extended time because you are so stressed in the moment. So conscious breathing, counting exhales, that's what works for me, and timing your breath. So a couple things you can do is inhale for the count of 3 and pause, and then exhale for the same count. So it would sound or look like this. So it would be inhale for 1, 2, 3, pause, and exhale 3, 2, 1. And you repeat it. And if you lose track of the counting and all those thoughts start to come in, just start over. Nobody's going to know. You always have a chance to try again. So it's an inhale for 1, 2, 3, pause, and an exhale for 3, 2, 1. If you're working with kids or your kids at home, I like to sometimes incorporate movement with that. And sometimes that's even good for us as adults. But it's an inhale. If you can, raise your arms up, palms out, get to my hands. And then an exhale for 3, 2, 1. So that timed breath. Another thing that you can do is try to extend your exhale 1 or 2 seconds longer than your inhale. So inhaling for a count of 1, 2, 3, and exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now breathing takes a lot of practice. So for me, breathing has been in my practice consciously for a while. But to build up the length of your inhales and exhales really takes some time. So, you know, if you're getting to like 1 and 2 and feeling like you need to exhale. Like you have to be paying attention to your body. What works for me and the timing is going to be different for everybody. But it's just paying attention. One of my most favorite times to practice intentional breathing, you know, aside from like when I'm rage driving and like all of those things are happening, or I'm overwhelmed at work and meetings and all that stuff, is when I'm trying to fall asleep. Because I don't know if any of you experience this, but you're like winding down for the night, you're doing all your chores and everything, and then you get into bed and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep, whatever. And every single thing that happened to you during your day comes flooding back into your brain. I mean, even stuff from conversations like however long ago, right? Like, I don't know why it happens when we're trying to fall asleep. But it's like this monkey mind, like our thoughts just keep going from one branch to another, and we have to regulate that so we can sleep, because sleep is also so important for managing stress. So my go-to when I'm sleeping is that I just count my exhales. And I guess now that I'm an adult, I think about this and I'm like, oh, that's like why they used to say you should count sheep when you're trying to fall asleep. Like, because the counting actually works to re-regulate your nervous system and brings your body back into a state of calm. But you take your inhale and then you just exhale. That's 1. Inhale, exhale is 2. And you just keep going. I usually get to 5-ish and I fall asleep. But sometimes I get to 1 and then all the thoughts come back and I just start over. So if that thought pattern is disrupted and you can't just focus on the counting, start over. Start at 1, exhale. Feel it through your whole body. Like imagine the exhale is just going from head all the way out through your toes, and let your body fully absorb that relaxation. And then allow it to reset you and allow your body and mind to come back into a state of calm. And I've been practicing this for a really long time, and it really has been like a savior for me, especially over these past 3 years. Being a teacher has been really hard. Being a human on the planet has been really hard. So I just try to give myself some grace also if I'm like forgetting these practices. I have all this training and all this experience, and sometimes even though I know I should do it, I don't. But I notice it physically in my body when I can't just regulate. And there's so much going on. We're going into the very busy holiday season. We're back to school. We're driving here, we're driving there. Tap into how you're feeling, because if you are doing that and managing your own stress levels, everything around you gets a little better, right? We respond instead of react. That's huge, right? And it just gives us that opportunity to reset and bring those stress levels down, because what we don't want is to be living in that state of chronic stress. And sometimes that's really hard. And sometimes you need a little assist because breathing's just not enough. And it's just been so awesome. Hey, Marcy. So that's why I love the tinctures at night, or the sleep jellies, or the nano jellies during the day. And it's just been, I don't know what's happening here. It's just been really a game changer for me in managing all of that, because it's like, you can't just, I don't know, do one thing and expect to feel better. It's a combination of doing all the things. So breathing and exercise, drinking water and exercise, you know, getting better sleep and breathing, like all of those things together have a more impactful response on our body. So I'm gonna leave you with some lyrics from a song that I've been like going through in my head, because yeah, that's just how I roll, I guess. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with Trevor Hall, but he's one of my favorites. He's like, I don't know how to describe him, like super chill reggae, like not even reggae, I don't know, just cool. So the song is Put Down What You Are Carrying. And I was preparing for this, and what I was going to say to you, it came on in my Spotify playlist, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So these are not the lyrics in order, but these are some standouts for me. The first lyric in the song is, don't you go to war with yourself. How are you going to hold all that pain? It's like so powerful. You have to find grace within yourself. You have to give yourself the opportunity to reset and manage the stress. It's not always going to be perfect, right? But you have to be here for yourself. So don't you go to war with yourself. How are you going to hold on that pain? Hold all that pain. Put down what you are carrying. Don't you go to war with yourself. It don't look good on you. Stress is a physical manifestation in the body, right? You've got other things to do. And it's just a reminder that we're all carrying so much every single day. None of us is just responsible for ourselves. And sometimes you have to put yourself first and give yourself those moments of breathing, quiet, intentionality, just so that you can show up. It's okay. I did a ride with Cody Rigsby this morning, and my favorite. He said, you're already doing a great job. So if no one told you that, or in case you forgot, you're already doing a great job. You've got this. Breathing is the tool that we all have access to help us manage stress. Tap into it. If you have questions, put them in the comments or reach out to me. I'm available. I've got some other resources to share. I'll link the song in the comments because it's just worth a listen. And I hope you all have a great day. I'm so happy to be with you all, and go get them.